Hi everybody, how are we all doing? Hope you're having a good week so far. It is Thursday the 10th of October 2013. We're back. Arrow is back. Kicked off last night's season 2 premiere titled City of Heroes. Wow, what a comeback, what a start, what a return. So just to quickly recap on season 1. Obviously Oliver Queen returned from the island Lian Yu, which means purgatory in Mandarin. And since he's been back, he basically has been righting his dad's wrongs. He was given a list of names in a book that his dad gave him, and just before he shot himself. And then obviously he was on the island for 5 years. He's come back. Thea's happy to see him. Moira's happy to see him. But then we find out that Moira was behind him and Robert's kidnapping, Robert being his father. It wasn't just Moira, but also Malcolm Merlin was involved. His best friend Tommy Merlin eventually finds out who he is. Diggle also finds out who he is. Felicity Smoke also finds out. So Diggle, Felicity and Oliver are now all working together as a team. Laurel Lance, bit of a rift between her and Oliver, because Oliver took Sarah Lance, Laurel's younger sister, away with him when they went on the Queen's Gambit with his dad Robert. And then obviously when the Queen's Gambit went down, Sarah died along with it. But then later on in the season, Dinah Lance, Laurel's mother, shows up, advises both Laurel and Quentin Lance, who's her husband and Laurel's father, that Sarah may actually be alive. That didn't actually work out as well as we thought it would. Obviously, touching back on Malcolm Merlin, he turns out to be the Dark Archer. Is he dead? I don't think he is. We will see Malcolm Merlin back in season 2. So yes, it's definitely he will return at some point. I'm hope anyway. Fingers crossed, but I think he will be. Then obviously Malcolm Merlin and Moira and other people were all part of the group called the Undertaking, which was to cleanse the disease in the glades in Starling City and rebuild Starling City, the glades from the ground up. And the only way that Malcolm wanted to do this was to basically destroy the glades using the man-made device known as it's an earthquake device developed by a company called Unidac Industries. The lead chief scientist was known as Dr. Markov. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much season 1. Oliver in particular going up against the Dark Archer 3 times, only beating him once, and then losing Tommy at the end as well. So yeah, so that's the recap of season 1. So let's kick off with City of Heroes. Oliver's went back to the island because he felt that he completely failed the city. He didn't do what his father had wanted, kind of. He didn't live up to his father's expectations as such. I wouldn't say expectations, but he didn't honour his father in the right way that he wanted, that he would hoped he would have done. Especially with the Markov device, the earthquake device going off. In fact, there were 2. They shut down one, but then Malcolm obviously had another, so that went off. So Diggle and Felicity go and find Oliver. They find him, bring him back to Starling City for a good reason. Given what's happened in Starling City in the Glades, there's 4 characters known as the Hoods who are taking down people responsible for the Glades being destroyed with the earthquake device. Now, what I love about that is there was a vibe of the Dark Knight Returns. If you remember the Dark Knight Returns, when Bruce Wayne comes back after 20 years of being in hiding, there's a group calling themselves the Sons of Gotham, or the Sons of Batman even. And they don't follow Batman's morals and rules. They pretty much are quite uncontrollable and and stuff like that. So Oliver has to then realise that the reason why Diggle and Felicity brought him back was because of these guys going around killing people who are responsible for certain, what happened to the Glades. And then they point their attention to Oliver, being that he was the man behind the reason the Glades got destroyed. And then because of that, the thing that I think that really turned the episode round was when Oliver didn't want to become the vigilante again for reason being that Tommy died because of his, secret. That Tommy knew who he was. Tommy called him a murderer, a killer, and Oliver felt that's not the way he should be doing things anymore. And it turns out that when the Hoods invade a board meeting between Oliver and Isabel Rochev, played by Summer Glau, who is trying to do a hostile takeover of Queen's Consolidated, he basically tells Felicity and Diggle that he doesn't want to put the hood back on because he doesn't want to kill them. And Felicity even turns around and said, forgive me for saying, but what does that matter? You've killed other people before. And that's when he mentions Tommy. And he then realises that because of what happened to Tommy, because of what Tommy said to him, he doesn't want to kill anymore. He's had enough of killing people. And it shows later on in the episode that he actually sticks to that promise. Eventually he puts the hood back on and he doesn't kill anybody. So yeah, there was so much going on. There was if you listen carefully, there was a mention of Central City, Star Labs, and a particle accelerator. I think they've just teased how Barry Allen may be getting his powers. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. We do see Black Canary show up at the end. Roy Harper is seen fighting a gang of thugs taking on a girl, and he's having a fight with them. Then this Black Canary just shows up out of nowhere, and if you listen carefully, as she disappears, you actually hear the canary cry, in the background. Not her making a noise, but it's like the sound is made as she disappears into the night, kind of thing, which I thought was a nice touch. But yeah, fantastic episode. What a return to the series. Can't wait for episode 2, titled Identity. Oh my god. It'd be interesting to see how Isabel's going to play into all this for the rest of the season. Summer Glau's character. Again, we went back to the island, flashbacks. Oliver and Shadow are a couple. Slade and Oliver and started to sparring with each other. It's good that Oliver started to pick up some moves and such. But again, the whole him not killing people anymore it shows in this episode the reflection back on the island as to why he no longer would want to kill. So it's good that the episode always flashes back to the island to certain points that relate to the episode, which has happened all throughout the first season, so it's going to continue for the rest of this season as well. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Good to see Walter Steele back as well. Moira Queen is currently in prison. I have to also say that Thea Queen taking over the club as management is interesting. She's grown up, I'll say that for sure. She's now got a responsibility. She's actually hired Roy as well, so Roy works for Thea. Figure that one out. But yeah, I think it's a good response. It's a good thing for her. Throughout the episode, though, she didn't want to go and visit her mother at Iron Heights prison because of what she did. She believes that her mother was responsible for the killings of what happened in the Glades, even though Malcolm was the one that was really behind the whole thing. But yes, in a way, Moira did have a hand in it as well. She was responsible to an extent. So there was that mother-daughter relationship still going on between them two. And eventually, when Thea does show up at the prison to see Moira, it's because she was threatened. Thea was threatened by the Hoods, and because Thea was threatened by the Hoods is why then Oliver then takes action to put the hood back on. But again, the end of the episode was really good, in that Oliver no longer wanted to be called the Vigilante or the Hood. He needed a new name, and Diggle basically just says, "So what are you going to call yourself?" And you just see, as the camera pans out, he's just holding an arrow that just happens to be coloured in green. So, that was fantastic. But yeah, Felicity has been busy. She redid the layer. It looks amazing. It's like a bat cave without bats. which I thought was pretty slick. So it's amazing that she got herself really busy. She said, "Oh, I made some changes just in, knowing that you were going to come back," and it just looks slick. It looks so much better. So yeah, roll on for the rest of season 2. I can't wait to see what we've got in store. But excellent return, Fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.